You remember cheering for Yugi and Kaiba, but what if you only know half the story? While we watched duels in the so-called Shadow Realm, the original manga was telling a much darker, more brutal story. Today, we're exposing the shocking secrets that were too intense for TV. Yu-Gi-Oh! Wasn't originally about a card game. The manga was a dark horror series where Yami Yugi challenged bullies and criminals to shadow games. Losing meant facing a penalty game, a twisted, supernatural punishment. He didn't just teach lessons, he set a criminal on fire. The card game was just one of many deadly games that only came into the spotlight after it became a massive hit with readers. Let's talk about the Shadow Realm. Get ready for the truth. It's completely fake. It was made up by 4Kids Entertainment to censor the show for Western audiences. So what really happened to characters who lost a duel? The answer is much more grim. In the original manga and Japanese anime, people died. They were stabbed, burned, or driven mad by horrific hallucinations. The Shadow Realm was just a soft blanket thrown over the story's brutal consequences. Remember Bandit Keith? In the anime, after losing to Joey, Pegasus just opens a trapdoor and dumps him into the ocean. In the manga, his story ends right there in horrifying fashion. Pegasus uses his Millennium Eye to force Keith's own hand to morph into a gun. He plays a twisted game of Russian roulette and is forced to shoot himself, a shocking and permanent end that was way too graphic for TV. Maximilian Pegasus, the creator of Duel Monsters, also had a much different fate. In the anime, he loses his Millennium Eye but survives and later appears in later seasons. The manga gives him a much bloodier end. After his duel with Yugi, a weakened Pegasus is confronted by Yami Bakura, who doesn't just take the Millennium Eye, he brutally murders Pegasus by ripping it straight from its socket. In the anime, Seto Kaiba is an arrogant rival. In the manga, he's a homicidal villain. After his first loss to Yugi, Kaiba is so consumed by revenge that he builds a horrifying amusement park called Death Tea. It was a gauntlet of lethal traps designed to murder Yugi and his friends, including attractions with poisonous gas and a hired serial killer. The anime cut this entire Death Park arc, softening Kaiba's character significantly. If you tried playing the card game after watching Season 1, you were probably confused. That's because, during Duelist Kingdom, the anime ignored the official rules. Powerful monsters were summoned with no tributes, and card effects did whatever the plot needed them to. This was simply because the anime was being produced while the card game was still being developed. The rules weren't standardized until the Battle City arc. The Yu-Gi-Oh! We watched was just the tip of the iceberg, a heavily sanitized version of a much darker story. What do you think is the most shocking difference between the anime and the manga? Let me know down in the comments. And if you had fun uncovering these dark secrets, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. From its horror story beginnings to the brutal fates of its characters, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga is a completely different beast. The next time you rewatch the anime, just remember, you're only getting half the story. Thanks for watching.